Amir Khan versus Kell Brook is finally here. Is it probably 5, 6 years too late? Yes. Am I glad and going to watch it? Yes. Will I pay for the pay-per-view? Yes. Right, let's get into this. So we knew it was coming, I think, from what all the reports coming out and rumors, etc., recently coming out of the boxing world anyway. However, I think it's been quite close a number of times. So I, I feel like a lot of people were quite reserved about making any big announcements without anything official coming out. We had something official, and they've done it quite interestingly. They've sent out the press release and then done a press conference straight away. I think more to one, prove that look, this is definitely happening, and two, it then gives them the ability to say, you know what, yeah, it just gives them the ability to then promote that press conference straight away. There's some content out there for people to digest straight away and start getting excited about. We know there's going to be multiple press conferences, so I don't see why there's an issue with that. Could they have then promoted that press conference beforehand and then done it? Maybe, but I don't see any issue with it. Honestly, I think it's probably quite a good thing. We'll go into the press conference and what I think it means, how both fighters looked, what was said, and the key takeaways from it. I'm not going to obviously go through it word for word, but it was interesting, man. I mean, it was very interesting. First of all, I think it's worth noting that we're not going to see the Amir Khan or Kell Brook in their prime. It's going to be two faded fighters, but it probably will be competitive because it's going to be two faded fighters who have declined at a similar rate, honestly. We both saw them in with Crawford in the past, was it 2-3 years? And honestly, they both looked, no, they looked okay, but they didn't look anywhere near their best. And they got schooled by what is rightfully one of the best pound for pound fighters out there. And he showed that against Sean Porter recently, Terence Crawford. They've both gone up 2 weight classes. You know, for example, Kell Brook going up to fight GGG, Amir Khan going up to face Canelo. So there's definitely similarities and parallels in their career. But, you know, are we going, like, who's faded, I guess, a little bit more potentially? And also, not just that, but we're going to finally get an answer to who will have the bragging rights. Because honestly, whoever loses this will be walking around probably for the rest of their life with a tag that, you know what, you guys took so long to make this fight. It finally happened, and then you lost. I think if it's a super close fight and it ends up going to a split decision, or it's, you know, a draw, or it's just really nip and tuck and it could go either way on a points decision, then fine. But most likely, because of their age, it will stop early or it'll be a stoppage either way. And if that's the case, then I tell you what, it's going to be tough. And it'll be very, very tough if you are a Kell Brook fan or Amir Khan fan to say that one, for example, if Amir Khan was to lose, to then for an Amir Khan fan to say, well, he had a better career than Kell Brook. I think to Kell Brook fans, they will just turn around and say, our guy knocked yours out. He's better than you. Simple. And that's, you know, of course, boxing and careers and not that black and white, and styles do make fights for sure, but there's a lot on the line here. There really is. And both these fighters have been asked over the years, when you're going to fight Kell Brook, when you're going to fight Amir Khan, and that it's just been a fight that's been talked about for years. I know they have said that it's the biggest domestic fight outside AJ Fury. It's kind of sad to say, but it is. In terms of the actual intrigue and I think the size of the occasion, it most definitely is. You know, it's going to be in Manchester Arena, February 19th. It most likely definitely could have been in a stadium, 560. It would have sold out Wembley, I think, you know, in its prime, in its heyday, when it was supposed to happen and should have happened. But in saying that, it's still a very, very big fight. So let's see how it goes. I'm actually very excited for it, honestly, because I just want to see it. And look, I personally am not going to take it as a be all and end all. Everyone knows who's watched the channel and watched a lot of my boxing content. I'm quite a big Amir Khan fan in terms of his career. But I'm also a fan of Kell Brook, honestly, and I don't think their career should be defined on this. But in a lot of people's eyes, it will be, and I can understand why, because there's a lot of emphasis on this. It's a legacy-defining fight, as it said in the press conference. It's nothing. There's no world titles on the line. It doesn't matter. These guys have already won world titles, so that's not really what they're looking for. They're looking to shut the other one up and have the bragging rights. So let's go into the press conference, because straight away, first of all, it's obviously being billed as Khan versus Brook. So Khan is seen as the A side. I'd be interested to know what the splits are. I would imagine that. So Amir Khan does have a slightly bigger pool. He's got a fairly bigger pool even in terms of, I think, fans and attraction to the boxing media and also the casual base, because he's done, for example, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of It here. He's also been to America, and as he said in his words, conquered it. I mean, I don't think that's. Look, I mean, he's definitely done his bits there, that's for sure, and he's had some fantastic fights there. To be fair to him, so I think it's actually a bit harsh to say he hasn't. But look, I mean, he's definitely a big name out there as well, and he's just a big name in general. And I think he, definitely his name has a lot more weight than Kell Brook. For sure, he's also Olympic silver medalist. That makes a huge difference as well. So I just think generally he has the upper hand when it comes to that, which is why he is the A side. His name is first. It's Khanbrook. He's going to, I would imagine he's got probably it's either 55 or 60% split in favor of him. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 60-40 split. Interested to know how much they're earning from this fight. It's obviously going to be on box office. So I would imagine that it's going to be 1995. It could be more. They could try and push it and go for an AJ cost like a 25 quid pay-per-view. I would definitely advise against it. They're not going to listen to me, but I just think that would be crazy. I think it would really alienate people. I think the pay-per-view already potentially alienates some people, because a lot of people are just fed up with the whole saga in general. And there will be people that will say it's stale. There's no point watching it now. You would hope that people, if they are going to watch it, obviously they watch it on the pay-per-view. They don't watch it illegally. But inevitably, I think a lot of people will be streaming it. Let's be honest. Unfortunately, will I pay for it? Yeah, I'll pay for it. I mean, I really want to see this fight. I don't, as long as it's going to be competitive, which I think it will be. It's not like both one fighter who's at the top of his game, one is completely faded. I think they're both faded, so it should be competitive. And the matchup should be quite equal. So let's see how it goes. In terms of the press conference, though, so it was billed as that. They went onto the stage. Obviously, Kell came on first. He was just dressed in pretty casual clothes. Amir Khan in a suit. Then straight away they have some pictures, fists up, like, oh yeah, this is me. They go head to head, and straight away they're in each other's faces, like literally head to head, like forehead against forehead, nose against nose. May as well be kissing. And then next thing you know, Amir Khan pushes Kell Brook. They go back together. There's scrutiny there, and they're just again like forehead to forehead. A lot of chat going on, etc. I don't know exactly what they're saying. It wasn't audible. Anyway, so we sit down and they have the first press conference. And really, I don't want to go into it in huge depth, because I feel like I can probably summarize it in a few points. I think one is pretty clear that both fighters know this is really their only option if they want a big money fight now. Like, it's definitely the case. I know Amir Khan saying he's doing it for the British fans, but yes, I think that is partly why. But I think, let's be honest, it's a big payday. It's the biggest payday he's going to get. He's done everything else. It's just, if he loses, he'll retire. If he wins, he may retire as well. I know he said also in the press conference that I want to go on to better things after this. I mean, really, are you? If you beat a faded Kell Brook, unless he looks really good doing it, and somehow we see Amir Khan from 4 years ago looking really sharp, then maybe. But even then, I'm just not sure at all. I'm not sure he's going to be training him. It sounds like it's not going to be Virgil Hunter. It sounds like he's going to be training with Terence Crawford's camp, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. I actually think that's a really good setup as long as he's in there and committed, and he's not doing what I feel like he's done in a few of his fights, which is just, I'll just train when I need to. I'm not going to push myself. I'm not going to train smart. I'm going to be a part-time fighter. And to be fair, the same holds true for Kell Brook. I mean, he tried to do it his own way against Crawford, and Dom Ingle, who will be training him in this fight, rightfully said he didn't approach the right way. He tried to do it himself. That wasn't the right way of doing it. And, Kell Brook didn't disagree with him on the stage. And look, it seems like he's been training a little bit. It's interesting because Amir Khan clearly thinks that he's levels above Kell Brook. He said, I'm coming down a few levels to fight you. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I think in terms of resume and obviously pedigree, amateur pedigree, getting an Olympic silver medalist, and I think I'm probably a little bit biased, I do think he's a slight level above Kell Brook. I don't think he's levels above Kell Brook. It's a massive exaggeration from Amir Khan. He could say, like, what he should have said is something along the lines of, I feel like my most notable wins or my resume, when stacked up against Kell Brook's, is clearly much better. And if he says that, well, that's the truth. So he can get away with saying that, right? But to turn around and say to Kell that, your level's below, you're nowhere near my level, is rubbish, because now they both faded as well. And I tell you what, it will be competitive. I don't think, and I personally think, if anyone's getting knocked out in the first 3 rounds, and this is me saying it as a fan of Amir Khan, that it probably will be him. If it goes a bit longer until maybe 6, 7, 8, then I can potentially see Amir Khan knocking him out. But I don't know, honestly. I'll give my prediction close to the fight as we see the guys in shape, and also they're going to do gloves are off. I cannot wait for that. That's going to be spicy. Apparently, they're filming it straight after this press conference, but it will be released obviously at a later date. So that will be crazy, because there's definitely a needle. Amir Khan was talking over Kell Brook a lot. He definitely tried to take control of the press conference. I didn't like the fact that he was swearing a little bit, using the S word, and calling him whatever, a cat, you know what I'm talking about. I just think it was just unnecessary, and Sky had to flash up quite a few times. Apologies for the language. I just thought he could have just leave it out. Didn't need to really put that in. Called him a female dog as well. He was trying to get under Kell Brook's skin. Honestly, he's trying to get some type of mental edge. He tried to just take over the press conference. Really, he came in with his swagger straight away in the walk-in, and then as soon as he sat down at the table, it was a case of, well, you know what, I'm the man. As I said, he was saying, I'm the man, I'm levels above you. You really aren't worthy of being able to talk with me. He laughed at Kell Brook Kell Brook is not the best talker. That's the issue. And he made fun of him talking about, his brownies, which they have code words for shots, and also saying that, he looked like he was a blob, he looked like he was out of shape, which I don't think he was out. He didn't look out of shape. I think he did look slightly bigger, but they've got time to make weight. He'll make weight quite comfortably. Well, he'll make weight, that's for sure. Sounds like they're going to fight at 149, not 147, which I think Amir Khan made a point and poked fun at Kell Brook, saying, oh, you made me go to 149, but we're 147 fighters, almost trying to say, why have you asked me to come down, but I'll do it for you. As almost as if he's doing him a favor. Kell Brook, was saying that Amir Khan's got no chin, which is, that's pretty standard, to be fair. I think a lot of people say that who even are Khan supporters, to be fair. I've always been of the opinion that I don't think he doesn't have a chin, because there's a lot of fights where he's clearly shown he's got chin, Maidana, for example, but he leaves his chin in the pocket. And if you leave your chin in the pocket, you'll get sparked out. It's simple. So, and he does that on a fair few occasions, and he just struggles to get in and out at a quick enough pace. His hands are quick, but his head doesn't move at the same rate, and sometimes he gets stuck in that mid-range or close range where it's dangerous, and he then gets clipped. But yeah, Kell Brook was similar to Amir Khan. They're both saying that they're going to be at the top of their game. They haven't lost anything. They're potentially in their peaks of their career. That's a load of rubbish. Let's be honest, they're definitely not. They're just saying it to sell the fight, which is fine. But, let's be honest, they're not. They're not going to be anywhere near their best, you'd imagine. Who knows? Maybe they roll back the years because there's so much fire and needle in this, and they train so hard, both of them. They will not want to lose this fight, either fighter. So I think we will see a better version than we've seen in the last few fights from both fighters. But we're not going to see prime Khan, prime Brook going at it, no doubt. I can very much doubt it. Can Kell Brook make 149 comfortably is the other thing, because even though he's not making 147, 154 really is where he should be fighting, and he does potentially. He doesn't look dead the weight, but he just looks like he struggles to make 147. 149 will still be a struggle for sure. Amir Khan is natural welterweight at this point, to be fair, you'd say. So 149, he probably won't mind too much having that 2 extra pounds, but realistically, it's going to be. I don't think there should be any excuse. 149 is fine. That's pretty much what I was expecting the fight to be at 149, 150 around that mark. In terms of how the presser went as well, Amir Khan, saying to Kell Brook that he got knocked out by a jab by Crawford, taunting him because after Brook and also Domingo, to be fair, said that his punch resistance was really low. He's got a point in a way. I mean, I know Kell Brook was exhausted at that point, or was just hurt. And yeah, he did. He got knocked out by a jab, to be fair, which isn't great. Amir Khan obviously got stopped. They stopped it because of a low blow, actually. He couldn't carry on. And then I think they counted it as a TKO or lost on the cards. But either way, he was going to get knocked out, I think. We can safely say in that fight as well. So, look, it's going to be an exciting fight. It's long overdue. February 19th. So there's quite a long way to go. There's going to be a lot of fantastic build-up. I mean, there's clearly, and rightfully so. For example, Johnny Nelson said there's a lot of fake rivalries. This isn't one. There's clear, obvious needle. It's real. They don't like each other. They don't want to lose to one another. Amir Khan, especially when he's been saying, he was saying, oh, we used to spar for Team England or Team GB, and the coach used to say to me, don't fight with both hands, just fight with one hand. And then Amir Khan said, what shot should I use? And he said, just jab him. And he said, oh, I beat him up with the jab. Now, there's two things to this. One, it may have happened. I mean, Kell Brook was like, oh, it never happened. But I kind of got the feeling that it did happen. But Kell Brook obviously is not going to say, oh, yeah, it definitely happened. But two, who cares? It's so relevant. Sparring means absolutely nothing. There's so many people that spar, and then next thing, when they fight pro, it's the complete opposite. It happened so long ago, and it was in sparring. It really means nothing. It really does. The only thing that he may potentially have over Kell is the mental edge by bringing up and putting seeds of doubt into Kell Brook's mind, is that the same thing going to happen? But if Kell Brook's mentally strong, he shouldn't really have an issue with it, honestly. He should just be like, whatever, you'll see. Amir Khan seemed confident. Kell Brook did seem quite confident, but he seems slightly bothered. I think by what Amir Khan was saying to him, and he was saying, you don't have to sell a fight to Brook, and he also alluded to the fact that, Kell Brook is, I think he's not the best talker, and I think Amir Khan picked up on that and really tore him apart. He's a better talker than Brook. I don't think he's the best talker in the world, Amir Khan, but he can talk. And he definitely used that against Kell Brook. But Kell Brook saying that, actions speak louder than words, and we'll see in the ring, etc. I didn't like the fact that the two dads were on the table. I thought that was really silly. Kell Brook's dad didn't speak that well. Amir Khan's dad, he has more experience speaking, but even then, I was a bit like, it's really unnecessary. Why have them on the table? That was weird. I don't know why they did that. I guess for Amir Khan, it makes sense because his trainer's not there. But I think they could have left that out, honestly. And yeah, I think Amir Khan in general he definitely thought he had the upper hand in that press conference. I would say he probably slightly did. But in saying that, there's a long way to go. I think he knows how to get under Kell Brook's skin. Will that really matter come the day? Really remains to be seen, because there's a difference between someone like, for example, Tyson Fury against Vladimir Klitschko, where you break them mentally, and, for example, Kubrat Pulev just getting under Anthony Joshua's skin and then getting knocked out, because that's the way that Anthony Joshua reacts. And actually, he did get under his skin, but he didn't mentally break him. So Amir Khan needs to, if he's going to go for that, he really needs to go for it big time, like he has to. He can't be taking half measures. Then he's just going to really go in and go savage on Brook. And I think he was trying to do that for sure. He was cutting him off. He wasn't really letting him speak. He was just saying, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do shit. Basically, you're when Kell Brook was saying, "I'm gonna knock you out," they both said they're going to knock each other out. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming we will see a knockout, but it'll be interesting. It's speed against timing. Timing, people say, normally wins over speed, but I think this will just show the difference in class, if there is a difference in class between the two, or maybe it'll just show that actually both guys are on a similar level and always have been. Who knows? Either way, it's going to be exciting. I'm very much looking forward to it. February 19th, so cannot wait, genuinely. Interesting to see what they do with the box office and also the rest of the media. But yeah, it's on. Hopefully no one gets injured. Hopefully both guys have good camps. I think if Kell is with Domingo, that can only be good for him. And if Amir Khan is in a team like Terence Crawford's and takes it seriously, both of them take it seriously, and I think they should come in good shape and with good game plans. And yes, they are faded, but it'll be competitive, and that's what we want to see. So yeah, cannot wait. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you as well for everyone who joined for the Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr. watch along. What an upset, to be fair. Unbelievable. We should be doing some watch alongs this weekend. It's Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. So we will be doing that. In terms of during the day, I know there's, in the evening UK time, there's Lynn Arthur versus Anthony Yard. I will probably not be able to do that, but Mohammed may do that. So I'll keep you up to date if we do a watch along for that. But thank you guys for tuning in. Do remember to like the video and subscribe. Really does help us out. And also do make sure you check out our social media links in the description of this video. Thank you very much.